passionate. Give 'em the old double whammy, daze and dizzy 'em. How can they see with sequins in their eyes? Yeah, I can. Tonight, I want to tell a story of my life. So this is a story of a boy named Cody. Okay, that was supposed to be a lot faster. Literally, that was supposed to be a joke. So, yeah, basically, this is the story of my life. When he asked me to do this show is about the 60s and 70s. Well, I was alive for about 4 years in the 70s. So this is a story about how the Sesame Street has really actually shaped my life, is actually what this comes down to. My first memories are of me, 2 years old. My mom's pregnant, and I'm standing at the, the night before each night, my parents would make sure, okay, so this was back in the day when you had a TV that was good 40-inch TV, but most of it was wood. It sat on the floor, it was deep, and you had maybe a 20-inch screen on it. So this was where you had to walk over and turn it on and turn the channel. So what my parents would do is each night they would set it to channel 11, PBS, and each morning I would wake up and I would go out and I knew just to turn on the TV. And my mom could sleep until, because she's pregnant, it was basically either a get up, throw up, and then start her day, or she could lay in bed until about 11 and be good. So I got to watch TV, got to watch Sesame Street, my show, and she'd be able to lay in bed. So I would go to the edge of the hallway each morning, and I would say, and once my show's over, I'd say, "Wah-ah-oo, wah-ah-oo." And, you know, I knew exactly where her bedroom was. You know, even at 2 years old, I knew. But I'd do that, and she would say, I'm in here, I'm in here. So eventually I'd go in, and she would, you know, start her day. So that's kind of my, my earliest memories. Sorry, I meant this to be very raw and very, yeah, just organic. So I haven't really practiced this too much. From there, good excuse, right? I've always considered myself the real-life Kermit the Frog. Okay, I gather the freaks and the weirdos into a group, and those are my friends, you know. And we have adventures, and we do things. And in my early 20s, we had this group, and we were pirates. Okay, in my early 20s. Okay? These are the things you do in Utah, you know, when you when you're in your early 20s and you don't drink. We were pirates, and we met this girl, and we pulled her into our group, and she'd been in an accident. She had been thrown a good 20 feet, and I believe hit a lamppost, and from the stories that she tells, her head was twice the size a head should be. When the sorry, I should have started this by saying I will cry tonight. So this girl, Number one, she would not look at me, okay? She had, I could tell, very low self-esteem. She wouldn't look at me when she talked to me, so I always made her look at me. I said, when you talk to me, look at me, okay? So that was number one. Number two, I named her on the pirate ship. She was the beautiful princess. Two, sorry. I saw something very beautiful in her. And so she, it was a situation where we would kidnap her each morning. Because that's what you do with a beautiful princess when you're a pirate. And we would return her to bed at night by 8 o'clock. You know? Yes, very respectful, but we were pirates, evil pirates. So we did these things, and eventually, friends drift apart. She went on her own way. And several years later, I met her. She was this confident, vibrant, beautiful woman. She was engaged, and I don't want any accolades for this, but I do feel that a little bit of her coming into her own was because of what we as a group did for her. So this is that's kind of how I live my life, is trying to inspire, trying to help other people. Let's see. From the day I was born, I've always been a big guy. Okay, I was born 9 pounds 3 ounces and 2 weeks early. Yeah. Well, according to my grandma, I was exactly on time, but according to the doctor, I was 3 weeks early. So, yes. So I've always been a big guy. Hovered around 250 was usually my lowest, and where I felt my body wanted to be. So from, geez, I should know this better. It's my own life. In 2005, my mom died, and by 2006, I was at my biggest, 320 pounds. Okay, so from then, I hit a point. You always hit a point, in health and everything, where you just say, this is enough. My point was, I was walking with a friend, and I was in back of him. We were walking downstairs, and I noticed he had that fat man waddle, and I think we've all seen it, where it's very kind of stiff joints, and you just and you're waddling. And I'm like, and when I realized I was doing it too, I'm like, I'm not okay with that for me. Okay, and that was my breaking point. That was the straw or the camel that broke the straw's back. Now, one thing about that is I'm about my motto is own your freak. Love yourself, love your body. Everybody has fat on them, so love what you have, and if you're not happy with what you have, work on it, but love yourself. Own your freak. So, and then I started on a journey, and over the next few years, I lost 100 pounds. And in this journey, I'm still at, 300 or 240 to, I'm getting back down to where I'm comfortable. And during this journey, I made myself into a superhero. His name was Ultra Bear. And, Ultra Bear the comic is all about body issues. But let's do this.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little German. Okay. This is Pato. So, of course, again, you know, it comes back to Sesame Street. It comes back to what my inspiration is. Pato here is my sidekick. He's the rubber ducky kid, and I am Ultra Bear. And Ultra Bear, again, is about body issues. It's about, I was creating this comic book, kind of never got off the floor and still working on it, but it's about kind of my fears and things, you know, and trying to be comfortable with being a large guy and being gay and having that positive gay role models. So, Ultra Bear is losing weight. So this brings us to 2013. July 4th, 2013, I go to a trainer that I had been working with in the past, and I said, I want to train like a bodybuilder. I want to go back to my 20-year high school reunion, and I want to be ripped. Everybody wants to, so, you know. So this is a year away, and I figured that's a good amount of time. I can go, you know, be in some kind of good condition. So we start, he puts me on 6 days a week. You know, I'm pumping weights, and thank goodness there was no cardio in the beginning. Cardio is the bane of my existence. I hate cardio. I will lift all day long, but he does this for me, and then he starts whispering in my ear, competition. Let's get you in a bodybuilding competition. And so he starts talking about the gay games. The gay games are in the 80s. There was an athlete that was kicked out of the Olympics. He had won all of these gold medals, and then he came out, and he was kicked out. He was stripped of all of his medals, and so he formed the Gay Games, which originally were the Gay Olympics, you know, for several years, and then they were sued, so they changed to the Gay Games. Yeah, and so this is something that happens every 4 years, and it just happened to be in Cleveland, Ohio this year, in 2014, and so I started training for it, and I'm going, and consistently, I was able to lose 2 pounds per week, over a 50-week period, okay, and that's a massive amount of weight. 100 pounds in 1 year is massive to lose. It's the fastest you can lose in a safe, healthy way, but it is still a massive amount, okay? So along with that, if you lose that much weight, it does create issues. So I've always been proud of my body. I've always loved my body, even bigger, you know, I've always loved myself. It's just, you know, I was never to the point where I was. So I get to this point about 12 weeks out, and I hit a wall. And suddenly, I have all of these issues. Suddenly, you know, it wasn't what I expected. I suddenly, when you lose that much weight, you have hanging skin. You know, most of you have probably seen that or heard about it. But you do have some skin that'll hang. Especially, all total, I lost 150 pounds. So, yeah, so there was hanging skin, and that was my biggest fear, was getting on stage and having that. And being the guy that lost 100 pounds to get there, which is a little silly, but that was my fear. So suddenly, it became something different for me, the games. It was not about myself. It was about inspiring other people, because I had so many people rooting for me. What I did this on purpose. I painted myself in a corner, and I talked to so many people about doing this and how excited I was that I couldn't not do it. And I almost quit. I had reasons. I had tendonitis at one point. I could have quit. But because of how many people were just rooting for me, I didn't. It became about them and about inspiring people. So with Ultra Bear, going back to that, his journey, as he gets thinner and trimmer, he goes evil. Okay. Again, all about my insecurities and my body issues. So, Ultra Bear becomes Mega Bear. And when I finally got down, lost that 100 pounds, I got to the games, and I'll tell you, it was amazing. Any gay guy who complains that that Pride is a meat market, that it's not what it's supposed to be, bust your butt, get to the gay games, because that is a week-long Pride that is fucking amazing. I was on such a high. I'd walk down the street, with my medal, and people would treat me like a hero. It was amazing. I was lucky, I've tried not to become that Nega Bear. I've tried to keep myself and keep, true to me, and that is the big thing. That's the big hero, is being able to do that. So at the games, I actually won the silver medal. Lost 150 pounds to get there, and I won a medal. So, let's see. He probably wants me off stage by now. Let's see. So, really, this story just comes down to, a little show on public broadcast TV that's funded by viewers like you that turned me into a superhero and helped me change the world. So, little, one person at a time, I guess. So here's the song that I've always wanted to sing on stage. So, you can tell who Punky Brewster is playing. There's so many songs about rainbows. What's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide. What new amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
And it's an amazing story, and I think we're all really inspired by you now. And you ended with one of my all-time favorite songs. I love that song so much, which is why I'm going to sing it right now. Why are there? No, I'm not. Take me to karaoke and I'll sing it. I love that fucking song so much. That was almost going to be my ending, because I end with a song, and we're ending now, so get out the door. That was almost going to be my ending song, but I decided to go with the one that I go with. So you talked about being inspired by Sesame Street creatures. Yeah. Were there any non-plush toy heroes of yours?
Non-furries?
Non-furries as well.
Oh, wow.
Which there is nothing wrong with a plush toy furry. Nothing. But
You.
Oh, shut up.
Heroes. Oh my. Someone. Oh, why wasn't I thinking about this?
That's okay. No, you don't have to. Yeah, I can tell you about mine.
Yes.
No, that's okay. And so you went to gay games, and I've actually been to the early gay games, the first gay games, and the one after that. I wasn't in it, I did go to the first one, and it is an amazing experience. It's amazing just watching it. I can't. Wow. One of the first ones I went to, Tina Turner. It was like when she first was doing her "I Loved Ike, I've Got My Shit Together," and she performed it. So yeah. And then Jennifer Holliday was at the other one. But
no, can I go back to? I do have.
No, wait. And then at the third one, I'm teasing. Yeah, go.
So, heroes. I have to go with a bodybuilding hero, Lou Ferrigno.
Oh yeah.
Because he's deaf,
yeah.
and overcame that, just so much. One that's a huge hero to me is a guy that competed with me in the games. His name is Mason Caminetti, and he was born a woman. And he is now competing in bodybuilding.
Awesome.
He's amazing, amazing, and he is huge inspiration to me.
That's so great.
Because getting over the fat and being a big guy all my life and getting on stage, being naked in front of people and being judged for it, it's huge. It's gigantic. But to actually change genders. And and getting over those kind of issues, that to me, it just is inspiring.
That's awesome. Wow.
Say that, girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Look for him.
Yeah. Okay. So now, where are you going to go with all of this? Because I know you write on Facebook a lot about foods that you couldn't wait to eat again. And I didn't even do any of the bodybuilding or training, and I went right to the foods I want to eat again.
My favorite.
Skip that middle part.
My favorite is like two that I had to do was two like Red Baron personal pizzas with a hamburger in between. Yes. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. After a year of nothing like that, oh yes.
Shit, you can stick some fried chicken on in there. Oh, it's a nacho cheese sauce. Some jalapeno poppers. But are you gonna keep competing?
Oh yeah. Well, again, the body issues. I got to see what my body's gonna do with the hanging skin. That's something that I got to see if I can get it to come back, because I really don't have as much as some people do. It's been amazing.
You look great.
I may have to have a little surgery. I definitely will compete again. That's it for sure.
That's awesome.
But this to me was 1 year of a 10-year project.
Yeah.
I want to
awesome.
be huge.
I know we both. Here's something that we connect with this mainly on Facebook. But so all of my life, there's these like, and everybody goes, "Ooh, that's so gross. That's so sick. Ooh, that's," and I'm like, I'll do it twice that big. You can't get it big enough. And this is my favorite part right there. Like, make it the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, and I love it.
I love it when the vein goes down the arm.
Yeah.
And I really think, because
put that in between two pizzas.
Because I grew up on He-Man. He-Man, one of the gayest cartoons ever. And I really think it's like a toy, where you had the seam down the arm from the die cast or whatever. Oh yes, that is so hot.
What kind of toy are you talking about?
The kind that you grow up on. Now, I know that you brought a fan club with you tonight. Some of these people are in your fan club.
Wonderful.
What do you do with them?
Professionally.
This part could never come into another mic.
So we're involved in what's called Cheer Seattle. Cheer Seattle is we cheer our cheerleaders who cheer for charity, and we raise money just like like other groups like the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. We cheer, we go to games, we pass the do our cheer thing, and then pass the bucket around and collect money. And so this is something that is just starting here in Seattle, and these are some of the cheerleaders here that are here.
I'll do a foot.
Do you ever get on top?
I've been up once. Yes, I want to again, but yeah, I'm a little big.
Until then, she's on the bottom.
Well, I think it's amazing. I think your story is amazing. I think you're very brave and wonderful for telling it here in front of all of our people, and I know that we all think that you're just amazing.
Yeah!